what they've told us this year is they have a championship roster. They've been telling us this for 4 years. They have a championship roster, a championship window. And because the team is so good, that's why they have to have a cheap quarterback room. That's the key to winning a Super Bowl. Cheap quarterback room. These 3 quarterbacks they happen to have, all promising, all have talent and reasons to feel hopeful about their future. One's 23, the other one's 23, the other one's 25. So the Niners are telling us that the best way to win a Super Bowl with a win-now roster is with 2 23-year-olds and a 25-year-old in your quarterback room. Okay, I can dig it. It's cheap and it allows you to go spend in other positions. But let's just back up for a second. And before we spend all offseason arguing about which 23-year-old is the best candidate to win a Super Bowl this year or 25-year-old, let me just tell you, in the history of the sport, NFL, since the merger, these are the quarterbacks who won a Super Bowl when they were younger than 28. Let's put the bar at 28. So 27 and younger. Aaron Rodgers did it when he was 27, not before. Troy Aikman did it when he was 26. Terry Bradshaw did it when he was 26. Joe Montana did it when he was 25. Russell Wilson, 25. Tom Brady, 24. Patrick Mahomes, 24. Ben Roethlisberger, 23. 8 quarterbacks in the history of the sport since the merger have won a Super Bowl before they were 28. One guy did it when he was 23. Roethlisberger. Niners have 2 guys. Those are the top 2 guys on their depth chart are both 23. I like Trey Lance. I like Brock Purdy. I like both of them. What are the odds that one of them is going to win a Super Bowl this year? I mean, the history of the league would indicate really freaking low. Okay, but what about Sam Darnold? He's not much better. He's 25. He'll be 26 this year. If he wins the Super Bowl at 26, he would join Brady, Mahomes, Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman as the only quarterbacks who've ever done that. I don't know. When you look at it that way, doesn't it kind of seem like the Niners are spinning their wheels? You have this great team, but you don't have the quarterback to match it. If you want to win a Super Bowl with a great team and a functional quarterback who's just a cog in the machine, it's never going to be a young guy. All the young guys I mentioned are great quarterbacks. Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers. The worst one there is Russell Wilson, who's been to the Pro Bowls a bunch of times. A really, really excellent quarterback. One of the best of his generation. If either you have a generational youngster on your team, I don't care what he's making, or you got to get a vet. Nick Foles was 29 when he won a Super Bowl. Brad Johnson was 34. So, I don't know. It just feels like the Sam Darnold thing's a waste of time. Yeah, he's older. He's got a little bit more experience, but he's still too young. You need someone who's like 30. Marcus Mariota would have been better. He's 30. He's played playoff games. He's won a playoff game. I don't know. I just keep going back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the team that John Lynch won a Super Bowl with. That team is similar to this team. They're great defense. They had Trent Dilfer as their coach, as their quarterback for a very long time. He was the Jimmy Garoppolo of that era. Not good enough. Although he left Tampa, went to Baltimore, and immediately won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. So maybe that's what Jimmy's going to do this year with the Raiders. I doubt it, but it could happen. So they get rid of Dilfer. They replace him in Tampa with Sean King, rookie. Goes to the NFC Championship game as a rookie. Sound familiar? Is he their Brock Purdy? So he loses, but they stick with him for a year or two. Not the guy. Bring in Brad Johnson at 33 years old. Who's the Brad Johnson on this team? They don't have one. They want a Brad Johnson. They want to win that way. They don't have that guy. Who is the Brad Johnson in the NFL right now? I don't know. Is it Matt Ryan? He's a little bit older than Brad Johnson when he got to Tampa. Is it Andy Dalton? I mean, really. That's the kind of guy you're looking for, right? A slight upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a vet. You brought in Sam Darnold? I mean, yeah, he might have a bright future. All these guys have a bright future. But when are they going to win a Super Bowl, if ever? This year. You keep telling me it's a win-now team. Got the youngest quarterback room of all the win-now teams. Is youth the way to go at quarterback? And I mean, if you have Trevor Lawrence, sure, by all means. Jalen Hurts. You think you have an MVP candidate? Great. Do the Niners? Or do they just have Sean King? I don't know. You tell me.